man was replaced by machines. But in 21st century, it's a vice versa. Through this assessing HRD, we can design a new procedure as well as the effective HRD program. Human is not a machine. Human make machines. But seeing machines work, there are so many humans, they also feel that let us also make human as machines. Indians are going to be compared with Chinese, Indians are going to be compared with Russians, Indians are going to compare with US. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students for the first introduction class of the BCom final year, that is the 5th semester, and this subject is very interesting subject because this is all about human resource development. Dear students, whenever we understand or whenever we hear the word human resource, we need to also think about this person, the father of human resource management, that is Hilton Mayo. So I'll be asking you more questions in this, the day zero, where we go with the first thing, that is the learning outcome. Now, what exactly you're going to learn if you read this entire syllabus or you understand this entire module of human resource development? That is, the first thing is learning outcome. So what exactly, as a student, we need to understand about human resource development, and what are the things which we are supposed to make sure that these are the key points is what you are supposed to understand. Now, in the next thing, we'll go with syllabus. Now, according to the University of Mysore, that is the Mysore University, they have given us a prescribed syllabus where we have 5 units. We call them as modules. Now, after that, we're going to understand each unit, each module, what exactly we are supposed to learn, the key points which I told you before. Next is the internals pattern, the external pattern, and the exam pattern, which we're going to understand. So this is the agenda of human resource development. The first thing is learning outcome. So we'll understand what exactly happens in this learning outcome. See, first thing is we'll understand about human resource management, human resource planning, human resource development. So here in human resource development, the first thing is the need of HRD. Why HRD is needed? See, the 21st century, we need to understand there is a difference between this century and the industrial revolution. So whenever anybody asks you a question, what exactly do you mean about industrial revolution, you are supposed to answer them with a very simple thing, that is, man was replaced by machines. But in 21st century, it's a vice versa. Machines are replaced by humans, in the sense, if you have a proper human resource management, then even the biggest of the machine, if it is there, if it fails, the human gonna take over and then we create it. See, that is how this AI happened. It is not because of the machine, because of human. So that's the reason human is the scarcest resource in any of the organization. So you need to plan for them, that is called human resource planning, and after that you are supposed to develop them. That is the reason it is called human resource development. So what is the need of HRD, we will understand in this entire syllabus. Then comprehend the framework of HRD, how the framework happens in HRD. Next is the model for evaluating the HRD program. There are various models here, students. You need to know which model suits for which type of employment. So that is why you are supposed to group them in each module, that which employment is better. Next is you will comprehend the need for employee counseling. Now, counseling gonna happen. See, what exactly the meaning of counseling, in the sense there is a person who gonna counsel the other person, saying that what really happened to you, where you are going wrong. But here, when it comes to HRD, now the counseling is a very, very important criteria, and you are supposed to understand how employee counseling happens, whether it is only monetary or whether it is non-monetary or both. That is how the counseling will happen. And the last one is the HR performance. After doing all these things, right, all these things, now is there the increase in performance or there is a decline in performance, you will understand. So this is the whole learning outcome. So next we're gonna move with the syllabus. Now I told you University of Mysore, that is UOM, right? The University of Mysore have given us a beautiful syllabus. They have frameworked in such a manner that each and every student, whoever are under the University of Mysore, if they undergo this subject, that is human resource development, they'll get to know each and everything. The first one is conceptual analysis of HRD. So conceptually you will analyze what HRD is, the meaning, the definition and the other things. The second thing is you will go with the framework of HRD. Next is you will evaluate, right, the HRD programs, management development. So is the HRD human resource development? Here the management development, is it happening hand to hand? And the last one is the HR performance, where you will understand more about it. So let me just tell you the first one, that is the conceptual analysis of HRD. In that, what all we have? We have the first one is definition of HRD and need for HRD. Why we need HRD, we'll understand in this particular chapter. Next we have is multiple goals of HRD. What are the goals of HRD? Why HRD is needed? If HRD is there, what exactly are the goals which we're gonna achieve? So it is one goal or it is multiple goals. So we'll understand that yes, there are multiple goals of HRD and we can attain all the goals. Next is HRD department and its tasks. What exactly the entire HRD team gonna do? What are the tasks which they're gonna take, and will it be fruitful to the organization if they are investing in HRD? That is also very important, because there is something called ROI, return on investment. So if you put the money to HRD and you don't get it back, so is it surplus for you or it is a deficit for you? That is what you are supposed to understand here. Next is HRD for organization effectiveness. Is there efficiency met? Is it effectiveness met? So that is what you're going to evaluate each other. In this chapter, we're going to learn about both, that is effectiveness as well as the efficiency. Next is in the Indian context, how HRD is growing. See, we have two names. One is TV Rao, right? I'll just write it for you. TV Rao, right, and Uday Parekh. So these are the two people who are considered as the gurus of HRD in the context of India. How they designed it, did we achieve it? That is also the main thing. And next is HRD mechanism. So how HRD gonna work in different aspects, whether the top level or the middle level or the supervisory level, how exactly the mechanism changes in HRD, we'll understand in this chapter. Moving on, we have the second chapter, that is the framework of HRD. Now, in this framework of HRD, what all we have? We have the first one is the framework itself. See, whenever we go with it, we have something called the framework, right? What are the things which we are supposed to do, right? Is it the person there doing it properly or not? Is he up to mark or not? Now, is that policy, rules, regulations are being followed or not? So that framework will be done here in the second chapter, and then we'll proceed with the processes of HRD and then assessing HRD. Now, the process in the sense step by step, what happens in the entire events of HRD, then assessing it, whether we are following a proper procedure or not. Is it giving us something called the fruitfulness or not? Is it not doing it, or is it deteriorating the efforts of human resource management? So that we will assess while the HRD process and assessing of HRD happens. Next we have is designing effective HRD program. See, through this assessing HRD, we can design a new procedure as well as the effective HRD program. Next we have is HRD intervention. Is there any intervention which happens so that there will be a downfall? Or should we change the course of action? Should we have this alternate course of action? Should we evaluate the alternate course of action? We will understand in this HRD intervention. The next thing is very, very important here, students. We have training and development. See, give maximum training to your employees. The reason, the skills gonna enhance, their knowledge will build, their perspective of thinking about a problem or thinking about a solution will change. That's the reason we go with the training method, where we have two types, that is on the job training as well as off the job training. So here also we'll be able to understand that whether on the job training is giving more chances of effectiveness and efficiency, or is it off the job training. So that is also we will understand in the framework itself. Next is we'll go with brainstorming, that is the case studies and role plays. See, all the experience an employee cannot get it, right? Because situations are different. So example, if you give an employee the case study of say 10 or 20 companies, these are the things which has happened earlier. Now, if you were in that position, what would be the reaction of yours? What would be your suggestion on it? So that we will be able to understand through case studies, or give him a role play. Say, example, you're the HR manager. If there are 30 people and they will not be getting the salary because of the top level management, so how, being a HR, you will convince your management to pay them the salary? Or how is that, if you're the HR, how will you convince your other workers to work even though there is no salary at all? So these are the role plays which they're gonna give, and that is how we get enhanced by the framework of HRD. The next one we have is the third one, that is evaluating HRD programs. So in this evaluating HRD programs, we have few things. The first itself is evaluating HRD programs. How programs are there, how is that you're going to evaluate, which is the best course of action, that is how you will understand. Next is model and framework of evaluation. Now, model and framework, in a sense, we have different models, different evaluating procedures, criteria we have, right? So those criteria, will it be helpful to analyze, and will it give us that effectiveness in the organization? That we will understand in this chapter. Assessing the impact of HRD programs. Now, see, any program given to any of the organization or any of the employees, we need to also understand, is it gonna be an impact to the organization? Will it definitely change the future of the organization? Will it give the organization the productivity which we are able to talk, or we are able to achieve it? So that is what we're going to understand here. Next is the main thing, that is HRD itself. We will understand in depth, that is what exactly in practicality human resource development is. The last one is the applications, that is the fundamental concept of socialization. Now, that is where we will understand more about socialization, whether it is a primary socialization or the secondary socialization, or how people gonna interact with the other people so that the work or the task will be very easily achieved. So that we're gonna learn in this chapter, that is evaluating HRD program. The fourth chapter is management development. So what is that HRD doing so that the management gonna have more benefit out of it? That is what we're gonna learn in this fourth chapter, that is management development. So here we have four things, that is all about counseling, right? The first thing is about the employee counseling. The second is counseling as an HRD activity. Next is issues in employee counseling, and the third is employee wellness. See, here wellness is a very important topic where I always stretch more on these things. The reason is, human is not a machine. Human make machines, but seeing machines work, there are so many humans, they also feel that let us also make human as machines. But it is a very stupid idea for all the people who ever thinks. Very recently we got an article where we saw that a Chinese man who worked 140 days by taking only 1 day leave, and what really happened, the 141st day he's no more. What exactly we understand from this? We understand from this is, humans can be treated as machine, but they are not machines. See, even Narayan Murthy, when he said that there should be people who should work 70 hours per week. See, how is it possible? Like 70 hours per week if you go with it, right? Hours per week. How is it possible, guys? I'll tell you. Don't you need sleep? Don't you need socializing? Don't you need that? Why is it you're working? You're working for somebody so that somebody's dream will be achieved. But what about your dream? Where will you have time to dream when you are working for 70 hours? 70 hours per week, right? Say in a day, if we work 8 hours per day, okay, so in a week we have 7 days, but in that 7 days, one day is a holiday, that is a Sunday, so we are left with 6 days. Now if you go with 6 eights, right, 48 hours, that is fine, because in 24 hours we go with 24 is divided like this, 8 8 8, right? So 8 3 is 24, right? So here how exactly it goes: 8 hours for your work, 8 hours for your routine, whichever you do, 8 hours for your sleep. But what is that Narayan Murthy says is 70 hours per week, in the sense you are supposed to go with what? 16 hours. Now what exactly you're going to do with 16 hours? And then 4 hours you're going to sleep and 4 hours socializing. So your brain will go mumbo jumbo. That is how it will happen. So be careful. Employee counseling, employee wellness, very, very important. The next one we have is HR performance. Is it the positive one, whatever we did, or is it going with a negative one? If it is giving a negative one, again you are supposed to change the entire course of model, and then you are supposed to come. That is why it is always called the trial and error method, because human is not homogeneous, he is heterogeneous. We are very unique from others. So that is where we're going to learn about HR performance. In this, we're going to learn about the benchmarking and HR performance. The standards gonna come, the actuals gonna be measured. So that's why we say that, say standard is there and we have actual. So here the thing is performance. Now if standard performance is there, say you are supposed to make so much, target is given, and actually you are not able to achieve it. So what is that we're going to do is we're going to give you training and development, and then you people can achieve it easily. But nowadays what people do is they give a standard which can never be touched. They give a standard so that they want people to understand that you are supposed to have a benchmark in it. So that is where this chapter gonna come. And then impact of globalization, because we will be compared, Indians are gonna be compared with Japanese, Indians are going to be compared with Chinese, Indians are going to be compared with Russians, Indians are going to compare with US. So that is where impact of globalization on HRD will happen. Diversity of workforce going to happen. Workforce reduction will be there. Realignment and retention of employees we're going to learn in human resource performance. And the last one is the HRD program for diverse employees, because see, in India, if you take an example of Karnataka, in Karnataka, if you take an example of Bangalore, it's a diverse employment, right? How many people are there? You have people from Uganda, you have people from Brazil, you have people from Russia, you have people from Ukraine, you have people from different states of India. So their HRD program for the diverse employees, how exactly it happens, that is also we will understand in this chapter. So this entire thing, we have the 5 modules or 5 units. In this we have the internals as well as externals. When it comes to internals, you people will have 40 marks internals and 60 marks externals. The internals are divided like this: unit 1, unit 2, that we're gonna take it for the first internal, unit 3 and unit 4 we're going to take it for the second internals, and the last unit, which is a big unit, we're going to take it for internals 3. So there will be 3 internals and you are supposed to write all the 3. And when it comes to external, the question paper pattern, we have 60 marks. That is by default, it is given by University of Mysore, where it is for 60 marks. And how exactly? We have 3 parts, part A, part B, part C. The first part is all about 1 into 10. Right, so you have this 10 marks where they also go with 2 marks question, 5 questions. So it will be like this: 2 into 5 is equal to 10, where they're gonna give you say 7 questions and you are supposed to answer 5 questions, and that is 10 marks. The part B you have, that is 10 into 2 is equal to say 20, and they're gonna give you 4 questions and you are supposed to answer 2. Next you have 15 into 2 is equal to 30, where again they'll be giving you 4 questions and you are supposed to write only 2. And total, if you go with it, you have a 60 marks external paper. Very easy it is. I'll tell you how to handle this entire HRD. And books to refer, if you go with it, I have also written a book on human resource management and human resource development. Here I have written, that is Abhilash Chandra, Human Resource Management. Please refer to this book. Very easily, all the chapters I have given so that it is very easy for you to understand as well as to write the answers. But if not this, you have other books to refer, but here in these books you will not get the direct answers because it is just a reference book. But here in my book, you will get definitely the answers for each and every question. If it is a 15 marks question, I would have given 15 points. If it is a 10 marks question, I would have given 10 marks. So that is how I have written. So any doubt regarding this session, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you. Thank you.